Hi, for those of you who do not know, I'm Teddy, and I run a business called Tech No for Seniors. This is where I visit senior citizens where they hang out, and I help them overcome the risks and the fears of using technology. I absolutely love this new adventure I'm on. One of the things that I decided to do in order to make this adventure more meaningful and useful is to follow and pay attention to people who have ideas and tips and tricks, etc., that not only will make me better at what I do, but also provide information and content that I can pass on to others to help them, in this case, other seniors. One of the people that I've started paying attention to is a lady named Kim Komando, who has a newsletter that she puts out every day that is absolutely rich in ideas and links and products that can be helpful as well. But rich, very, very rich in ideas that are useful to senior citizens. Now, by the way, I'll put the link to Kim's blog in the video content. Now, this morning, December 2nd, 2025, Kim shared some stories about 23andMe and AncestryDNA and some of the chaos that has happened as a result of these new products that are out there. Now, Kim's statement is she is not an advocate for using these DNA services, and I agree with her wholeheartedly. I am not a fan of using them either. Now, what happened though is a lot of people use these services, and Kim shared some stories that are pretty heartbreaking. Okay. First was a story about a lady named Amanda who got an inheritance from her dad. Some woman shows up not too long afterwards, proving that she's a half sister via one of these DNA tests, and she demanded a share of the money. Then there was a guy named Ryan. His dad passed away. The estate was settled. Some guy shows up again with a 23andMe or AncestryDNA or something like that DNA test, proving he is Ryan's half brother. He demands a share of the money, and again, the court agrees and he gets it. Then there were two families. There was one, I think it was Boston, and another one was in Utah. These two families, they settled the estates of their family member that passed away, their dad or their mom or whatever. Somebody shows up, proves that they're a half brother or half sister using one of these DNA tests, and then they demanded a part of the estate or a part of the lawsuit winnings. And again, the court agrees, and they get the money. Now, the big point from Kim's newsletter is that as these DNA databases grow, more and more surprise relatives are going to show up. And maybe all they want is a connection. Maybe all they want to know is to understand. Maybe they want a part of the money, a part of the inheritance, a part of the estate, etc., etc. Now, I use the phrase heartbreaking. And it's important to think about that word heartbreaking in both contexts. It's heartbreaking to your dad passed away and someone shows up and wants part of the money. It may also be heartbreaking to be that half brother, to be that half sister, not have had anything to do with that person's life in any way until you discover through a DNA test that you actually have a family. That can be pretty heartbreaking as well. Now, I don't want to be crass or rude to that part of the equation. It's important, however, for you and your family, your parents, your grandparents, etc., to think about how do you protect yourself from this. Now, Kim says, and I absolutely echo what she says, that neither she nor me are lawyers. We're not lawyers. So you do not want to execute on legal advice that you hear or on a YouTube video or read in a newsletter. What both of us agree to is that you should seek legal help. Maybe an elder law attorney, maybe an estate attorney, and get help from them to make sure that your estate, your will, and all your documents are written in such a way to quote unquote protect your estate from someone unknown to you today. Now, Kim's suggestions that I absolutely agree with, and I'll share with you here, is that First of all, you want to be absolutely explicit in your will and your estate document. You also want to consider, get a lawyer to help you do this, naming by legal name the beneficiaries. And by the way, my legal name is Teddy Lee Burris Jr. You want to use the person's legal name, not just Bubba or John or Betty. Be very explicit about that in your documents rather than say my children or my descendants. That just opens the door wide open. You might want to also ask an attorney about adding a clause that says something to the effect of anyone not known to me at this time is excluded from this will or inheriting my money, et cetera, et cetera. The last thing that Kim offers that I echo in agreement is that you need to keep these documents up to date. So write your last will and testament, your estate documents, your parents do the same thing, your grandparents, and you need to keep it up to date because as your lives change, marriages come and go, divorces happen, births, deaths, et cetera, you want to make sure that your legal documents are accurate and up to date. Now, again, I give full credit to this to Kim Komando and her newsletter, which, by the way, I know absolutely it's Kim, but it's also Kim's team. I love her team. So go find her newsletter. I'll give you the link to it and subscribe to it. I guarantee you'll find more useful content in there. And by the way, if you like this video and it's helpful, then subscribe to my channel and like the video or comment on the video and let me know what you would do if a surprise relative showed up at your house one day. Hey, I'm Teddy. This is Techno for Seniors. And again, I hope this is helpful for you.